This month we're working on twists, really beautiful practice of really bringing all of the energy back into the center and creating a lot of clarity in the mind. When we draw all of the energy back into the core and we're balancing both hemispheres of the brain, the body, it gives us such a level of clarity, of discernment, of balance, feeling very centered, grounded. It's a beautiful way of calming down the mind and bringing everything back in to you. So a twist in practice is a nice way of just allowing those qualities to affect the mind as well. So we'll start with just a little bit of breathing to balance and to regulate and to ground. So find a seat that's comfortable. You might want to lift your hips up a little bit higher onto a block or some cushions so that the hip flexors can relax and the belly can really expand. So just take any variations, and you can come to either cross-legged or Siddhasana as I am, any position with the legs that feels really comfortable and restful. And just finding your sit bones, really let all of the muscles around your seat, around the glutes, the thighs, the pelvic floor soften and relax. And then find a long spine. So you're really stretching up into the crown of the head and relaxing the shoulders down the back so the heart space can open. And take a moment to just drop into this present moment where you are now in your space and into your body. So just feeling into the space that you take up here. Allowing yourself to really tune into anything that's going on in the body, going on in the mind. Dropping what kind of day you've had. And allowing yourself to be here now. And just take a few breaths, really breathing into the belly as you inhale. Allow the abdomen to expand, the rib cage to widen, upper chest to gently lift. And as you exhale, feel the navel draw back to the spine. So really pushing all the breath out. And fully exhale. So clearing any stagnant energy out of the lungs. And taking in more life as you inhale. So drawing and dropping your attention down into the navel center, keeping your focus glued here for today. And just feeling as the breath moves, if there's any restriction or tightness on the inhale, see if you can expand a little bit more. So the belly is really opening. There's no constriction, there's no tightness as you inhale the breath. And then using the abdominal wall muscles to pull back and push the breath out, helping the diaphragm to really squeeze the lungs as you exhale the breath out. Just gently generating some more energy here in the navel center, starting to cultivate some awareness in this space. And as we breathe into the belly and feel the breath really moving into the whole torso, you can start to feel the nervous system dropping down, the thoughts in the mind slowing down, and coming into a real space of homeostasis, of balance. So just take a few more rounds of breath here, really feeling the breath move in your body. Feeling all of your systems regulating and balancing out. And just taking your time with your breath. Take a final round, no need to rush. And as you feel that sense of landing in your body, this sense of connection back into yourself, back into your home, within. Just taking a moment to really honor your body where it's at. Noticing if there's any parts of the body still calling their attention. So you can practice with compassion and mindfulness. And just tuning into where you're at for today. So when we really regulate the breath in that way, breathe in the 3-part breaths, a full deep breath, and keeping the breath nice and smooth helps to really regulate the nervous system. So clearing any anxiety, any stress, any worry from the nervous system, but also from the mind. So as we move into twists, we're targeting the spleen and stomach, which is when out of balance, we feel those emotions. So it's a really nice way to help soothe and calm the spleen and stomach, really aligned to. So we'll start in an all fours position. So just taking yourself over to all fours, moving any props out to the side. And just taking hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath your hips. We'll move a little bit just to warm up through the joints. So take a nice deep breath in here in all fours. As you exhale, gently sinking the hips back to the heels, coming into child's pose. And as you inhale, gently coming forward and allowing the hips to drop towards the floor, squeezing the elbows into the waist and shining the chest forward. And as you exhale, pushing the hips all the way back. Nice long spine, chin tucked to chest. Stretch out through the arms. Inhaling to bring the body forward and the hips come down to the floor. Shine open the chest, squeeze the glutes. As you exhale, dropping the hips back, stretching the arms. Just taking another 3 or 4 more through. Moving with your breath. Nice slow, mindful movements. So as we work in the spleen and the stomach meridian lines, we're going to start to target the inner thigh and also the quad muscles. So the next time you come back to the heels, you can keep your sit bones grounded down and just take your toes together, knees apart, and sink back more into your seat. And you can stretch your arms forward. If it feels nice to take a support, you can take your bolster. We're staying into a widening child's pose just to start to tap into this inner leg line. Maybe feels nice to take some blocks or cushion underneath your forehead. And you can always reach your hands back to rest beside your feet if that feels more restful for your shoulders. You just want to feel the breath moving the belly. So as you're inhaling, really allowing the stomach to open as it did in the first position, just waiting here and resting with the breath in the abdomen down into the pelvis. And just feeling as you're pausing and resting here, how the breath gently moves the tissues of the pelvis and inner thighs. And seeing if the breath itself can allow you to deepen into the shape. Really allowing gravity to help you to find more surrender and deepening. Finding that space of the witness, of observing and dropping more in, becoming more embodied, more connected to your body, to the sensations internally. And also stepping back from the mind, so not becoming entangled in your thoughts, but really feeling what is happening in the mind, watching. just here for 1 more minute, 3 minutes in total. If you ever need to come out or reposition, always allow yourself. If you can find stillness, find that pause, and just watch, observe, tune in. See what each shape brings you. Take a final round of breath here. And then very gently and slowly as you inhale, start to lift your body back up and come into an all fours position. And then you can either pause there and take some movements through the legs, maybe coming into a downward facing dog, or if it feels good, you can lay down on your belly and just come to a supine or a prone position. Just taking a moment to let your body come into more neutral and feeling what's happening as you transition out of the shape. So just take a final breath here. And wherever you are, come back into an all fours position where we're working through a twisted position here in thread the needle. So make sure that the sit bone or the hips are over the knees, or even a little bit further back of the knees, so the weight stays in the legs. And you can take your hands further towards the top of the mat, so you've got a nice long stretch. And we'll take the twist first to the right side. So as you inhale, open up through the left arm, take a big deep breath and open. And as you exhale, thread that left arm underneath your right. So taking the twist through and over to the right side of your mat. From there you can find a nice opening in the shoulder blade area. And feel the twist come from the navel and through the breastbone. If it feels okay to keep your right arm as it is, you can pause there. Or you might feel to bring the right hand in front of the face to help you support. Or maybe even taking the hand round to the lower back or top of the left thigh. Keep pulling back through the left side of your hip, the right hip pulls forward to help the pelvis stay nice and squared. And keeping the back of the neck long. You're not overstretching the back of the neck. And again, breathe deep into your belly. Allowing the breath to help you move deeper into the shape. So twists are really helpful to bring all of the organs in the abdomen back into their rightful place, and also to really relieve any tension, any constriction that we might feel in the organs. When we're sat down at desks, the waist gets compressed, the lower back gets compressed. If we're driving a lot, we also feel this. And sometimes the organs can come out of their rightful place. The twists are a really lovely way of helping bring all of our body back into alignment internally. As you use the breath, it really allows it to deepen the shape, deepen the benefits and the effects. So just take a final breath where you are. And then bringing the right hand down in front of the face, that acts as a post to push into. As you inhale, slowly lift up, come to all fours. Let's take a moment in an all fours position. Keeping the same position of the legs, you can take the hands again, nice step forward. Keeping the weight back into the feet, back into the shins. Take an inhale, open through the right side of the body. Take a nice deep twist, open. And as you exhale, thread that right arm underneath your left. And taking a twist, thread the needle to the other side. Again, keeping either the left hand to the top of the mat in front of the face or taking it around to the lower back. If you take the hand round to the lower back, see if you can slide the shoulder blades down the back more. And really open up the front of the chest. Get more deep into the twist. And just allowing the breath to do its work. Reaching into the parts and points of the body as we breathe fully and deeply. Allowing yourself to re-rest into the shape. Rest in the mind. Dropping more into the observer. Last couple of breaths. And at the end of your exhalation, just gently bring in your left hand down in front of the face. Push into the hand, and as you inhale, come back up to all fours. You can sit back to the heels or take the legs out in front of you and sit down. Just take a moment to rest the shoulders. Breathing fully and deeply into the belly. So, if you need a little bit of extra padding, we're taking a lunge just to warm up through the quads. So you might want to pad up your knees, take that across the mat, and then step forward, nice long step forward with your right foot. And you can bring your hands either side of the front foot, or you can work with blocks, lower, slightly higher. We're just feeling into this back thigh, so you can let the hips drop down. We're just gently pushing forward and back. You can straighten through the front leg as you inhale. And as you exhale, deepening into the lunge. So nice slow movements, controlled and moving with your breath. And bringing the awareness into the back thigh, but also into the center of your body. The navel is pulling back to the spine as you exhale the breath out. And as you inhale, the belly can expand and open. And it's just 3 or 4 more through. Nice. Okay, so you can either stay here with your hands either side of the front foot and work in more into the back thigh, or if you wanted to work a little bit more into the left inner, right inner thigh as well, you can take the hands round towards the left side of your mat. You can always come up onto blocks. And you want to keep the right knee pushing open and away from you, so you're not letting that right knee drop in. If you feel okay and you wanted to increase it, you can come down onto your forearms. You're really opening into that right groin as well as the left quad, front of the thigh. And again, let the breath take you deeper into the stretch. So you're feeling the energy of the breath moving into these pockets of the body that we want to open. We want to stimulate these lines of energy. Inhale, belly expands and opens. And the exhale, the navel pulls back to the spine. You're clearing out. Bring everything back into the center. So stomach and spleen is the distributor of the blood. Takes all the nutrients from the food, digests it, and then it transports the blood around to the body. So it's our link into feeling really full and earthy, grounded. We've taken that nourishment from the earth and taken it into the body. So when we're really full and balanced in the spleen and stomach meridian lines, we feel very at home within ourselves. And we're able to take in nourishment. We're able to assimilate and extract all the lovely wisdom and nutrients and nourishment from our life experiences and take them in and learn from them. And because we're at home, we're full, we're nourished, we feel clear, we feel illuminated, we feel balanced, we feel this real inner sense of contentment and ease. Everything in our cycles is in harmony. This last 30 seconds. And seeing if we can work a little bit deeper in, or if you need to come out, allow yourself to last couple of breaths. So if you took yourself around to the left side, just gently walking back towards the front of your mat with your hands. Shift your hips back, and then we can all step back with the right foot. Bring the knee down. Take a moment here just to allow the hips to reset. And then taking the left foot, a nice big step forward to the top of the mat. And again, you can use the blocks or just hands to the floor, and we'll take the movements forward and back. As you exhale, let the hips drop down towards the floor, stretch the right thigh. And as you inhale, sink back through the hips, straighten through that left leg. You can take the toes off the floor. So just moving through the hips, the thighs. Nice, slow, controlled movements with your breath. Focus on the navel, pulling back to the spine as you exhale the breath. Nice. Another 3 or 4 more through. And then planting the left foot down, taking the hands on the inside of that left foot. And again, either pausing here, just waiting in a lunge position, or you can start to walk your hands round to the right side of your mat, keeping that left knee opening out and pushing away from you. So don't let that left knee collapse in if you're taking the hands round. An option to bring the forearms and elbows down to the floor too. Let's see, for a minute and a half, not too long. Use the breath, get deeper into the shape. Last couple of breaths. Do your next inhale. If you take the hands round, slowly bring yourself back to center. Shift the hips back. And then slowly bring that left knee round and back behind. Just take a moment in either a child's pose, or you can come to lay down on the floor. Just taking a moment to reset. Take a final breath. And then slowly come back up to a lifted position. And we're moving to half saddle from here. So you might want to use the blanket, or you might want to use a block underneath your seat. Maybe you don't need that so much, and you can just use the bolster. We're going to take a supported saddle. So if you take your, we'll do one leg at a time. If you take your right foot back behind you So the foot is just beside your hip, heel was on the outside of your hips side. And then you want to take the bolster behind you. So I've had it a little bit elevated just to create a bit of a slant. And then you can take a blanket underneath the back of your head. And have the bolster or cushions right up against your lower back. So you're really supported. And then you can just gently lay down onto that support. So take the bolster, the cushions up as high as you need to, so that you feel really comfortable and rested. And the higher up the seat is, the higher up the bolster is, the more stretch, the more support you'll have. So it won't be as intense on this right thigh. If that's really not working for you and if it feels uncomfortable, move all of the props out of the way and come to lay down on your front. You can make a pillow with your left arm and then bring the right heel into the glute and hold around the foot with either your hand, or you can take a strap or a blanket around the foot and pull it in towards your sit bones. So we're going to be here for 3 minutes each side. Just make sure that you are comfortable and you feel supported. Following the different sensations in your body, noticing what is changing, shifting as you breathe. Coming through our last minute and a half, halfway through. So preparing yourself to come out of the shape very slowly and gently and carefully. You can bring the hands to the floor or hold around the side of your mat. You're going to push into your elbows, your forearms, tucking chin to chest. And as you inhale, slowly come back up to a lifted position. Just lean off to one side, use your hand to help that right foot round. If you're on your front, you can just literally switch arms and legs. And then to switch over to the left side, taking the left foot round to the side of the hip. Just readjust through your sit bones and then again reclining back. Coming down to lay onto the bolster, keeping that left knee in towards the center line. I'm just here for 3 more minutes. You're coming out of the shape again, slowly and gently, taking your time to lift yourself back up. If you're on your front, you can just release the leg and make a pillow with your hands or roll onto your back. Slowly bring yourself up to a seated position if you're reclined back, and you can take your legs out in front. You might want to bring your feet to the floor and lean back into the hands and just take some knee sway side to side. Nice. So next shape, we might want to use a blanket under the head. We're coming to lay down in a recline twist. Cat pulling his tail is a really lovely stretch to open both the quad but also to get a stretch into the twist. So you may need to use a bolster which you can bring on the right side of your body. Just bring yourself down to the mat first off. Hug your knees into the chest. Just lifting the tailbone off of the mat and then relaxing it back down. So you can bring your right foot to the floor. Just shift yourself over so you turn to the right side of your hip. And then send that right foot down and behind you. And if you can grab hold of the foot with your left hand. But you want to make sure that this left shoulder does not come off the floor. You want to keep the left shoulder blade glued down to the floor. So that's where your block will come, your bolster will come in handy. And then you can just rest that underneath the foot, the shin, the knee, and use your right hand on the side of the left thigh. So take your time to readjust, to shuffle into it. You don't have to grab the left hand to the right foot. It's just an option. But if you can, then you can push back through that push back through the right foot into the left hand. And that will give you a really lovely deep stretch down the front of the right thigh. So it's just an option if you want to do that. You can always let your right leg extend out along the mat if that's more comfortable. So just in a one knee recline twist. And then if it feels okay for your neck and shoulders, you can look over to the left side of your mat, just increasing the twist into the neck. And then again, come back to your breath. Come back to the nice full breath in your belly. And feeling the navel draw back to the spine to help you move deeper into the shape. Relaxing all tension, any effort. Let yourself drop into the shape. If any body part is lifting up and away from the floor, it's always good to pad your body up. So bring in cushions, blankets, blocks underneath you so the floor comes to meet your body. And that way we really find a lovely support and the body can rest more deeply when it feels supported. So always take extra props if you need them. Do us here for another minute. Guiding the head back through to center. And with your next inhale, gently releasing that underneath leg, slowly roll onto your back. Just take a moment to pause with feet on the floor, knees bent. Just receive that side of the twist, let your spine resettle. Taking in and exhale. Move in any props over to the opposite side. Shift your hips over to the right side of your mat. Take in the left foot and knee underneath. And then the right leg can come up and in towards the body to come into the twist. Then getting the shoulder blades to glue down onto the mat, taking any variation, and keep sending the left knee back and away. So you're pushing back through that leg, and you can push into the hand to increase the stretch down the left quad. But that's just an option if that feels okay. It's accessible. Looking over to the right side of the mat with the head, if that feels okay for your neck and shoulders. Let's see if we're around 2 minutes. Maybe taking the head back through to center, release the underneath leg, and then slowly as you inhale, fall onto your back. Just take a moment to pause here. Breathing into the spiraling energies of the twist. A lovely grounding, calming, revitalizing energy of Samana Vayu, the wind that moves through the twist. So to finish, we can work either in a reclined butterfly, which you can take either a bolster or some blocks underneath the knees or behind, beside the knees, and just allowing the soles of the feet together, knees to come apart. Just resting, so just working into that inner leg line. Or you can also work from a seated position and come into a forward fold with butterfly legs. So just feeling into the shape, noticing what feels right for you, taking any support that you might need, allowing the back of the neck to stay nice and long and the breath to stay full in the body. You're in a forward fold, slowly padding yourself back up to a lifted position. And if you're in a reclined position, gently using your hands or slowly rolling the soles of the feet flat to the mat. And then you can all bring your knees in towards the chest and just hug yourself small, allowing the hip flexor, the groin to relax and soften. And breathe deep into the belly. So we can move into Shavasana from here. So you might want to use a bolster underneath the backs of your knees, maybe taking the feet onto blocks. It's nice to lift the feet up a little higher. You can take a blanket under the head or over the body. And you might want an eye mask or a little pillow just to cover the eyes over. So just finding any last adjustments that you need. And then coming down to rest, feel the shoulder blades are nice and wide behind the back of your body. You can turn the palms up to face the ceiling to open the chest. Really take a nice long stretch through the arms, feel space through the back of the leg, through the inner thigh. Just letting the feet relax out, so there's no clenching or holding through the hips. You can even roll the feet in and out a few times just to soften through the thighs. Fit in a nice space down the sides of the body so the arms aren't compressed into the side body. Closing down the eyes if you haven't already. And take a few conscious breaths just to finish. So breathe in, feel the belly expanding. Filling your body up with a sense of vibrancy and nourishment. As you exhale, allow the navel to sink down towards the spine and feel heaviness and earthing, so you feel really grounded and connected to the earth beneath you, nice and heavy. Slowly remembering your breath. And allow your awareness to come back to your body, back to the space. Making very gentle movements through the hands, the feet, the head. Just waking yourself up slowly. Any intuitive stretches that feel good for you. And roll off to a side and just pause on your side for a moment. Slowly press up and come to a comfortable seated position. Just finding any props and any comfortable seat. We'll just finish with a little bit of pranayama to balance all that lovely work. And finish with alternate nostril breathing. And we can use the hand to, the most dominant hand, just to close off the nostrils. So bring your dominant hand up to the face, tuck the index and the middle finger in, and then you can use the thumb and the ring finger to close the nostrils. Just bring them up to the bridge of the nose and then slide it down to where you feel the bone finish, and you want to close off the nostrils at that point. Just gently take a full exhalation and a full inhalation. Last full exhalation. Close the right inhale through the left for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close left, exhale right for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale the right for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close left, exhale. Close right, exhale left for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale the left. That's one round. Close, exhale right. Inhale right. Close, exhale left. Continue on, inhale left for 6, out right, in right, out left. Keeping the breath nice and balanced and equal both sides, in and exhale. And feeling a smoothness to your breath. Trying to keep the breath as silent and calm as possible. And nice and deep and full. So the belly is still expanding and contracting. So you're really pulling as much air and pushing out as much stagnant air as possible. Taking one more full round in the right or in the left, all the way round until you come back out the left side. Just take your time, no need to rush. To finish that last round, just allow your hands to rest onto the lap or the thighs, and take a moment just to feel into the energies of your body. Bring your awareness back into the center of your being, back to the navel point, and just watching the breath here for a few moments. We're feeling into this deep sense of groundedness, contentment, calm and balance, and this real deep harmony within your body. It's your natural state of being rested, balanced, harmonized, luminous, and grounded, calm. Just bringing the hands into prayer, the heart space, offering gratitude to yourself for taking this time, offering gratitude to your practice and to each other. Namaste.